Hello and welcome to BISP Solution. This is a series of webinar in which we are going to discuss on fixed asset module and do configuration, and then we will test various functionality. So today's webinar topic is fixed asset basic configurations in e-business suite, right? So the agenda, today's agenda: overview of asset, then overview of asset life cycle, fixed asset function and setup flow in EBS R12. Then we will create responsibility, and then we will create a profile option and provide data access in that, and then we will assign user with the responsibility, right? So today's first day of that EBS R12 related to fixed asset basics configurations, right? So moving to the next slide. What is a fixed assets? Right? What is fixed asset? The fixed asset are a long-term tangible asset that are used by businesses in generating income. Fixed assets provide the organization with long-term financial gain as they have more than 1 year of useful life. So in the fixed assets are shown in balance sheet, and fixed assets cannot be easily converted into cash, right? There are two types of fixed assets. One is tangible assets. So what is the tangible assets is all about? The tangible asset is asset that has a physical existence, such as building, machinery, and some of the examples of fixed assets. And intangible assets which that doesn't possess any physical existence, right? So that is brand recognition, intellectual property, goodwill, and such as copyright, trademark, and patent are all example of tangible assets. So intangible assets, sorry. So it is an intangible assets. So moving to the asset life cycle. So asset life cycle consists of planning, acquisition, operations, and disposal. So let's discuss about the planning part. What is the planning is all about? Planning is the first stage of asset life cycle. It establishes asset requirements based on the evaluation of existing assets. Right, so it's basically a planning part where we do based on the requirement we plan accordingly, and where we do the planning then we do the acquisition, right? So this begins the life cycle of asset. Once the asset is identified, acquired, and installed into the businesses, it can be just hold on. Okay, so acquisition is in this beginning the life cycle of this asset. Once the asset is identified, acquired, and installed into the business, it can then be tracked throughout its entire life cycle process. And the operations and maintenance, this stage indicates the application and management of asset, including insurance, verification, AMCs, and etc. Right, that is the operational part. And then last not least, disposal, the end of the asset life cycle. It removes from the service and either sold, discarded, or shipped out. Right, so that is the end of the life cycle. So this is the fourth stage. In broader sense, you can say the asset life cycle, that is planning, acquisition, operations, and disposal, which is you can say a life cycle of an asset. Moving to the next slide. So it is an overview step and functions in Oracle EBS R12 fixed assets. So Oracle fixed assets is one of the module in EBS Financial Suite. This module is used to record the asset information manually and to import the asset information from the payables or project module, etc. using mass additions. The basic functions of the Oracle assets are to record of asset manually or through mass addition, updating the changes if any using the mass transaction, running the depreciation program as per depreciation calendar, the generating the accounting entries, and transferring the data to GL. While implementing the fixed assets, there are many steps, setup steps that need to be followed. The following chart will help you to understand the setup flow involved in the fixed asset implementation. So let us discuss on that particular part. First, setup is ledger setup is required. Then, as you know, in GL there is general ledger, accounting flex field is there. Out here there are three key flex fields, that is asset key flex field, asset category key flex field, and asset location key flex field. These are one-time setups. In the any application, when you do the configuration or implementation of asset, these are the one-time setup. You can't do, once it is done, you can't change it out. So one has to take the due must every consideration while doing the setup of asset key flex field, category key flex field, and location key flex field. Right, so that is the three key flex fields are there in asset. After that, doing the configuration of these flex fields, we will do the system control. This is one time setup again. So there are certain things which are of one time, right? So that is the one time setup, that is system control. As we go in the session, and we will discuss detail on that particular part, the system control, what is the use of system control, and we will also discuss about the asset key flex fields. Basically these key flex field, category key flex field, and location key flex fields also in the detail, right? Then we put location values, category values, and asset key values. So two are mandatory, that is category value and location, right? So I have given a certain colorization so that you can easily understand. So category, so through value sets we put values on category. In the asset category key flex field, so we put category values, and in the location key flex field we put location values. So how much granular you want to locate your asset, it depends upon the organization, how much he wants, right? So that is the requirement of business, how granular level he wants to go. And the asset category, you can see a category as a major and minor categories are there, and you can create a sub minor, right? So that is one category should be there, that is major category, and apart from that minor category which is dependent on major, right? So it basically in the implementation, max of the implementation, we see two categories, that is major and minor, right? So and the asset key values, basically this is an optional one, right? So that is optional one. So you can have an asset key so that without without an asset number, you can get a report out of that. Say any year you can mark any specific area you can mark, or you can say it's basically used to pull a report out of application, right? So that is the asset key value. It's a use of that particular thing. It's an optional one, you can use that, but while deploying the flex field, it is mandate one. The asset key flex field is mandate one, but values is optional, right? Now after that there is a fiscal year. We will define the fiscal year, and then the calendar, right? So that is calendar. So that is depreciation calendar. We will define out there, that calendar is there, and there is a pro rata and retirement conventions that is again the calendars are there, and which way you will add asset in the, how we will going to calculate depreciation. Say I add an asset, say on 1st of this month, it should be start calculating 1st of this month, or say next of this next month of this another month, right? So next month, starting from the depreciation from the next month, right? So that is the convention you do to depreciate accordingly your asset. So this is basically when you start the depreciation or retire the asset. So there is a depreciation method. We will create a depreciation method. There are depends upon, there are two basically used, that is straight line method, and another one is net written down method. These are the some of the methods which are used, commonly used, and there is a book control, right? So that is book control is, you have a corporate book and there is a tax book. So corporate book is where the corporate you enter the asset in the corporate book governed by the corporate laws, and the tax book is basically governed by the tax rule of the country, right? So that is the tax book, which is you can say linked to a corporate book, right? So you can create number of tax book from the corporate book, right? So you can say corporate book, depreciation book, any naming convention you can give. The corporate book is there, right? So you will attach asset category to the books, right? So you have an n number of books to be attached with the category, right? So category will be attached to the book. So this is the overall view of how the setup in the fixed assets, and then we will start the functionality, right? So different functionality will be there. So before that, we going to the application. So we will create a responsibility for fixed assets. So you can see the first we will create the responsibility, then that responsibility will attach to a profile option, right? So that is a profile option, and that responsibility is again assigned to user. So that responsibility will be having a data group, right? And we will attach a menu to the responsibility, and we will also assign a request group, right? So that is request group we will assign to that to the responsibility. And then in the profile option we will provide GL data access set that is assigned to the responsibility level. That is assigning in the responsibility level, we will assign the GL data access, and that responsibility, then the whole responsibility we will assign to the user, right? So today we will navigate to the now we will navigate to the application. So before creating a responsibility, normally the responsibility profile options users are created by DBA, right? So DBA creates the responsibility. In the test environment, we should log in with the system administrator responsibility and create responsibility for asset super user, and then assign the profile options at the responsibility level with the data access as a GL data access set, and then assign the responsibility to the user. So let us log in. So let me log in, and so that is the here we are logging in the application with the login as e-business, and search out here system administrator, select that, and to the security, go to responsibility and define. Save that. Open. Let me close and navigate from here. So I am in the system administrator, right? You can see that. Now I will navigate to the security, responsibility, define. I will give a naming convention to the responsibility. So my naming convention will be say asset super user vision operation USA, right? So that is my responsibility name, and application, assets, and responsibility key. It should be a quite unique key. So I will provide a unique key, say asset underscore SUPR super underscore vision underscore OPS underscore US, say, and I will put the description out here, same. Effective date I am saying the same, and the data group. So data group will be the standard, and the application is asset, and now very most important is menu, right? So the menu holds all the things. Basically your access to the application is based on menu, submenu, and functions, right? So that is the very important part. You can customize that particular menu according to the user. So I am using the super, I have got all the access, so I will use the FA underscore main, right? So that is my menu, and now I will select request group, and I will select all reports, tab out. So you will get this all reports assets, right? So select that and save it down, Control S, right? So it gets saved. My responsibility name is asset super user vision operation USA, right? So close it down. Now the next thing is to assign this my responsibility to profile, right? So profile, in the responsibility level I will select that, tab out. So out here I will select profile, I will select GL data. So GL data access set, say OK, fine. I will provide the GL data access set, that is vision, so that is vision operation, here we are, vision operation USA, right? Save it down, fine. Now I will select operating unit, so ammo, so I will select ammo operating unit, find that. So vision operation, right? Save that. So I have provided data access and operating unit access to this responsibility. Now I will assign this responsibility to user, right? So let's move to the user. So again, so that is the application. I am in the system administrator, security, user, define. I will pull my app user. So with the search, either I can search from here or I can say F11, right? So select that, take a percentage. I will take STEVE, Steve, JOBS, jobs. Control F11. Yes, there we are. So he got access to general ledger vision operation, payables vision operations, receivable vision operations, and cash management. To add the access, I will select add new. Out here I will select the responsibility name, right? Select that. So you can see the asset is the responsibility. I will select, give it the name in convention, say super user a asset, asset, right? And save it now, right? So I have provided the asset access. Now the system, I will exit from the system administrator role and log in with the user, right? So exit from here, close the application now. So this is basically done by a DBA, and now I will log in with the user account. That is Steve's job. Now Steve dot jobs jobs. So you can see now the asset super user vision operation USA is there, right? So select that, just hold on, yeah, there we are. So this gives the access to him to do the setup. So you can see the system administrator, asset system, you can have access, book control, asset category, fiscal year, calendar, pro-rate conventions, system control, locations, asset key. So these are the things we will going to configure in our upcoming sessions, right? So that is the depreciation. I am giving the overview right now. So how we create that particular responsibility, then we give the data access, right? So that is the data access we are given, that is GL as well as operating unit also. And now we log in with the Steve Jobs, right? So that is the user account. Then we go to the financials, that is flex field, that is key, segment. Let us log in with that. Right, so select. There are three key flex field which I am already discussing, that is asset key flex field, category flex field, and location flex field, right? So these are the three. In accounting, you know, general accounting, so you can see that general accounting flex field, you got a 1 only, right? In the asset, you got 3 key flex fields. So in upcoming sessions, we will go and discuss on that particular part. So I can give you an overview of that particular part. So asset basically are of 2 types as we discussed in today's session. So it has tangible and intangible assets, as in the previous slide, that is slide number 2, we have discussed about that. So asset basically having 2 type of assets, and land, buildings do depreciate, that is building machinery do depreciate, and intangible assets such as brand recognition, intellectual property right, goodwill, copyrights, trademarks, these are also depreciate accordingly, right? So intangible assets, you can not feel that particular asset, right? So in the concluding part, I would say in the today's session, we will conclude with this, and tomorrow we will discuss on the flex field related to asset category flex field structures, how to define the asset category flex field, define location flex field structures, and define asset key flex field structure. And then we will also discuss about the define system control. Okay, so that is the today's, and I am giving the upcoming next day topic regarding that. So we will conclude with today with this note. So thanks for joining this webinar on the fixed asset basic configuration in the e-business suite. So tomorrow we will do the necessary asset category configuration setups related to asset category, location, and key, asset key, right? So that's it for today. Thank you.